In this video we will try every single interaction that you can think of involving the dual blade's deflect ability. If you think you already know everything about deflecting thanks to Genji from Overwatch, you will learn that Embark and Blizzard designed this feature in very different ways. And if you stick around until the end, you will see how we use our new knowledge of the dual blades to push the game to its absolute limits and do the funniest thing I have ever seen in the finals. But not just yet. I am super excited to finally show this to you all, and the sooner we start, the sooner we will get to it, so let's do this. Before we get to that cool thing I was talking about just before, let's start by learning the basics of the dual blades and then try many interactions with its deflect ability. The first key thing that we will need later is that when you deflect something, you reduce its damage by 80%, but you still take 20% of damage, which means you can die to the thing you are deflecting, but to be clear, even if you die, it does get deflected. Sometimes when you get shot while blocking, the deflect animation will play and you will lose HP, but you won't send back anything. Like in this clip, see how sometimes I send back the knives and sometimes I don't? Another proof is in this clip we pop a canister balloon by deflecting an arrow, and in this next clip we do the exact same thing another day and it doesn't work. Bugs aside, you might be thinking that just like in Overwatch, if someone is sniping you from across the map, all you have to do is switch to the dual blades and headshot deflect them with their own bullets. But that will actually not work in the finals. First, you cannot deal headshot damage with deflected bullets. As you can see, when I deflect a sniper bullet back to this light player while aiming at their body, they take 115 damage. When I aim for the head, they take the same amount of damage again instead of dying, like they should have if it was headshot damage. The other thing is that deflecting gets less efficient the further away your target is, so it's like shooting with a sniper without aiming. If your target is right in front of you, then of course you will hit them most of the time, but if they are far away, you basically have no chance of ever hitting them. Basically, this is not Call of Duty and we don't even have final kill cams, so it will be a waste of your time to even try deflecting killing a sniper player from across the map, so just switch to the sniper yourself and get good. The second key thing to know is that in the finals you can stay in the blocking stance as long as you want because it's not an active ability that goes on cooldown and it doesn't even have stamina or something like that. Thanks to this, you will outlast a heavy dumping his entire Lewis gun mag in you, and you will also beat a Guardian turret in a 1v1. And if the other player doesn't understand the concept of moving, like your average teammate in Terminal Attack, you can even kill them with their own turret and then kill the turret itself. Alright, so now we understand the basics, let's try to answer 3 questions. First, what things can we deflect? Then what can we do with the things we deflect? And finally, are you subscribed to my channel? Let's start with grenades. Can we deflect an RPG shot?
But Jinko, the RPG is a rocket launcher, not a grenade.
Actually, RPG stands for rocket propelled grenade, and also this is my video, so I do what I want. Anyway, so you cannot deflect an RPG shot. Now, what about a grenade but thrown at you by a slightly less powerful killing machine? Heavy grenades will bounce off you if you are too close, like they are meant to, and medium grenades will explode on impact as usual. And to finish this off, hand grenades. Grenades that are on a timer will bounce off you like they would with any other player, and grenades that explode on impact will explode on you as intended. You cannot reduce damage taken by blocking and looking at an explosion either. You can still block when glitched and when stunned, and the deflect will still work as well in both cases. And just like with the fire grenade, the blade won't block fire from a flamethrower, and just like with the goo grenade, you will get stuck on the goo shot by the goo gun. You cannot deflect it. Can you deflect a cannonball? Did you even know that this game has cannons? I bet you didn't. They can be found on 2 different maps. What about cannonballs, but they are actually lasers and they fall from the sky? Nope. What about canisters? No, just like grenades, they explode on impact or bounce off depending on the type and fuse time. Defib? Of course not. An extremely fragile and ancient vase that will break if you even touch it. Winch claw? Nope, get wrecked. I have a video just like this one about the winch claw, by the way, so if you are liking this, you can go watch the one about the winch claw next. It also has a very cool thumbnail. What about the tracking dart from a dart gun? Yes, this does work, but look at this weird interaction. Even though you deflected, you are still revealed. So if you deflect a tracking dart back to the person who shot it, they are now 2 people revealed by a single tracking dart. That's so weird. And yet another fun bug. In this clip, Marshy is throwing knives at me and they have the scissor skin, but the deflected knives have the default skin. Interesting. Alright, so basically you can only deflect bullets, arrows, throwing knives and tracking darts. But that makes me think there are other kinds of knives in this game. Short ones, long ones, short ones that are attached to a long stick. So can we deflect them? Yes, we do reduce incoming melee damage, even quick melee attack. We cannot damage enemies with a deflected melee attack, so it's not actually deflecting, it's just blocking. In that regard, I think the animation should be different because you are not deflecting anything. Now, what about charge and slam? That's kind of a melee attack too, right? Yes, you do reduce charge and slam's damage. Anyway, let's move on to the second big question. What can we do with the things we deflect? So we can pop canister balloons, which is an information we will never need, but it's in our brain forever. And we can also make canisters or deployables such as mines explode as well. I have never been able to activate a button by deflecting something on it, so I don't even know if it's possible or not. And finally, there is one last crazy cool thing we can do by deflecting. Deflecting a bullet onto someone who is also deflecting back at us. This is what I have been dying to show you, and this is what we are going to push to its absolute limits. Behold the infinite deflect.
Oh, oh my god. That's insane.
This is the best thing. The bullet just goes back and forth until someone dies. And now check this out. We're using the lowest damage gun in the game, which is the M11, and we fire a single one. The back and forth lasts for 6 entire seconds. That's insane. But we are still very far from infinity, and I just said infinite deflect, right? So that's when we called another person to come help us in order to have 2 players hitting the deflecting player, and this is what it looks like with a single AKM bullet. That was 10 entire seconds of deflecting a single bullet. Now remember the 2 key things I told you about so far. You can hold the deflecting stance forever and you reduce damage by 80%. I actually showed you the last key thing that we need to reach infinite deflection, but I have not told you about it. So did you know that the tracking dart deals 5 damage? So when we deflect it, we should only take 1 damage. Yes, so what happens if you deflect a projectile that only deals 1 damage while you are getting healed? This is the real infinite deflect. Ah yes, man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. That's it, that's infinite deflect, we actually did it, we pushed the deflecting to its absolute limit. Genji cannot do this, Genji is lame and predictable and he's just a cool ninja guy, but it's boring. In the finals, we got infinite deflect and Echo doesn't exist, so it truly is the superior game. A gigantic thank you to Povich, 6, Marshy, Retrospect, Molo, Dev, Fish, and JumanCreative, who helped me record some interactions and the infinite deflect. Without them, this video would not exist. If you enjoyed the end result, please leave a comment, it means a lot to me, and see you next time!